Daddy G Show.
Here's Yo Daddy.
My hat's off to you, lady. Good job. We'll see you in the hereafter. Viva Austin, Texas!
Take a sip, take a rib. Once you live, just double click. It's the Big Daddy G Show. Big Daddy G Show. It's the Big Daddy G Show. Now type it in, take it in. Where do I begin? He's really funny, and he's not really thin. It's the Big Daddy G Show. Big Daddy, Big Daddy. It's the Big Daddy G Show.
Dude, you gotta try the queso with the taco meat, man. It's delicious.
Really? That's a book on how to make Mexican martinis. I've got the recipe right here. Y'all try that. Share it.
Hi-ho, what do you know? The Big Daddy G Show. The Big Daddy G Show. The Big Daddy G Show. Daddy's home.
Here's Yo Daddy. We're live? Okay. Hi, kids. Welcome to the Big Daddy G Show. Yes, I am a little how should we say, feeling good. Okay, welcome to the Big Daddy G Show. We took a little hiatus, I think we did, I'm not 100% sure. We took a little hiatus, and in case some of you don't know what a hiatus means, it means we got high anyway, you know what I mean. We've been having a good time, man. We've been really enjoying life and having a good time. I decided we don't have any guests because I believe the city of Austin has gone back up to level 5 on the COVID precautions, and so we're limited as to how many people we can have in the studio and stuff. So guess what? At least you get me and Mr. Tyrone Demetrius Smith. Can you hear him? So you get us, whether you like it or not. So here we are. So a lot of stuff has been going on in this last week. And excuse me, I've got this is my throat lozenges here. My Patron is now making throat lozenges or throat, what is it, cough syrup? Anyway, it works really good. Who cares? Dude, after you have some of this, you don't care about having a cough or a sneeze or sneezing or coughing or none of that crap. So anyway, what we're going to do today is we're going to go through some emails that we got for people that wrote to us from all over the world and want to express, their concerns and their what's going on in their lives and stuff like that, And I thought it'd be kind of cool because, we tend to just wrap ourselves up on, just what's going on in our lives. And so I thought, how cool would it be to, see what else is going on in the rest of the world so that, we know that there is another rest of the world. I'll give you a perfect example as to how we are made to think there isn't a rest of the world. If you go to Egypt and you go to the pyramids, you'll see the only pictures or images you've ever seen of the pyramids are facing out towards the desert. But if you were to take that same camera and where you're looking at the pyramids straight ahead, and you were to take that camera and turn it completely around to the other side, you would see a huge city there. A lot of you that have been there know that already, but the rest of us that haven't been there, we're not told this stuff. So, if you go to the border towns of Mexico, yes, the border towns, they're a little rough, they've got, there's a lot of cement, just like in New York City. There's a lot of cement, just like in LA. There's a lot of crime, just like in San Diego and LA and Houston, and, there's crime everywhere you go. So if you go into the interior of Mexico, there are some beautiful places. I mean, beautiful green, beautiful beaches, beautiful places. You don't necessarily have to go to all the tourist spots. You can go to other places. There's other places that are more friendlier to your wallet, I guess, is a way of putting it. And so check those places out, man. You don't, like I said, you don't have to go to Cancun or Veracruz, though they're awesome places to go, don't get me wrong, but they're more touristy. And so I'm thinking, why don't you, go off the beaten path and check out the smaller towns, and so just so you know, I was watching a show yesterday, and I believe that it was in Ireland. If I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it was in Ireland. And what they do is it's a small, they're small little villages. They don't have towns like we have towns and cities. They have these small little villages, and these little villages, if people are walking through and are getting tired and feel like they need something to eat or something, or a cup of tea, you know, because they drink a lot of tea. Well, they drink other stuff in Ireland too. I actually have 2 stories about Ireland, or people from Ireland, that I'm going to tell you about today. They're pretty funny, but kind of funny. And but these people leave their doors open, and if you come and you knock on their door, they welcome you to their home, you know, because everybody knows everybody, you know, and everybody trusts everybody, you know, which is kind of hard to do here because of, you know, you have people that are poor because they're making $7.25 an hour or 50 cents an hour, but they can't ask their boss for a raise because the boss is up in their home in, you know, Colorado, up in the mountains with their $3 or $4 million, $5 million homes, and they can't get a phone signal so that the employee that's making $7.50 an hour or 25 cents an hour can't call their boss because they're busy skiing and stuff, you know. So anyway, so we're gonna talk about a few things today, and then I think we're gonna show you some clips of some stuff. I'm not sure what it is. Tyrone's team, called the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is playing today. And who are they playing, Tyrone? I'm not sure if he's listening or not. They're playing the Los Angeles Rams, the Buccaneers. Today is January something, I think. January 20-something? January 23rd of the year 2022. And the Buccaneers are playing the Los Angeles Rams today, so we probably won't hear from Tyrone very much today because he's going to be busy with that. So anyway, I wanted to bring up, like I said, a couple of things and some emails that people wrote and told us about. Oh, he's wearing his Buccaneers shirt, and is that a jersey from Buccaneers? Yeah, and the Buccaneers jersey, yeah. Tom Brady. So, okay. Dude, I am a 49ers fan, in case anybody's interested. And I believe my team played yesterday or is going to play today. I'm not sure. They're in the NFC Championship now. Woo, baby. Anyway, so I want to thank you all for joining us, and I'm going to tell you a couple of stories, and then hopefully Tyrone will play a video of something. First of all, I want to make an announcement that I am dating somebody. Their name is, you might recognize the name. She's rather famous. She's been in a few films. Her name is Selma Hayek. I just want to let you all know that I won't be able to spend a lot of time with you all anymore, because as soon as she finds out we're dating, she's going to want to spend time with me too. So there's my excuse for not hanging out with you guys, because have y'all seen her lately? And she's like 50-something years old, 56 or 50, I don't know, who cares? Wow. Yeah, who needs a heater, right? Okay, so the first story or first email we got was from somebody named Mel, spelled M-E-L-L. Normally Mel is spelled M-E-L. Okay, it says, he says, hey, to Big Daddy G, I have a message for your audience. Please stop killing cops. I repeat, please stop killing cops, because that makes you, if you kill cops, that makes you no better than them. So, my idea, or my recommendation is that they have higher hiring qualifications. And this is actually a subject that I've been doing some research on. It turns out that a lot of cops, or a lot of cop places, you know, towns, cities, they hire cops that have got arrest records, they've been convicted more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times, more than 4 times, more than 5 times. So maybe, you know, this is my opinion, going off of what Mel, $500,000 a year. So there's an incentive to keep your position. So how do you keep your position? I don't know what my phone's doing. How do you keep your position? How do you keep from losing your position? Is you have to arrest more people. And I actually spoke to a police, not a police officer, but a sheriff's deputy here in Travis County. And he told me this story, and I didn't record him or anything, but I asked him, you know, just man to man, and he said, dude, if we hire someone and they don't write out enough tickets to justify their job, then their job will be eliminated. So now we're talking about money. You want to be a cop? Well, you got to make us money to be a cop. Because if you don't make us money, then there's no need for your position. So that's one of the problems that needs to be changed. And hopefully, in the near future, somebody with cojones will become our governor and hopefully do something about that, or the lieutenant governor, and do something about that. So anyway, quotas. When they tell you there's no quotas, trust me, there's quotas they got to meet. So so there we go. That's 2 of the little stories that I have for you so far. Tyrone, do we have anything, clip or something we can show the kids? I'm having to yell into the...
So I have this little 4-minute clip I can play.
Okay, so we have a little 4-minute clip that we're going to play for you. So it's time to take a sip, a rip, or a what, Tyrone? A rip, a sip, or a rip, a sip, or a puff. There you go. All right, we'll be right back in 4 minutes, so enjoy this video. Thank you very much.
Hi-ho, what do you know? The Big Daddy G Show. The Big Daddy G Show. The Big Daddy G Show. Here's your daddy.
That's it. You've seen it. You've seen the magic. You've seen the people, and you've seen the dog himself. Let's see, just Tyrone. After the show, what are your after the show thoughts, man?
We are just live.
Yeah.
Adrenaline.
As a director, what were your high and lows? Right? What was
High
it?
and lows. My high
For the
was probably
episode.
the dog coming in, you know, the nice ending.
Right.
My low was probably me messing up with the green screen, but that happens. It's live television.
Take it easy, Mr. Director. Thank you for everything. And
Oh, I'm going. I must go.
he's gone. He's gone. He's gone.
If you're in Austin, Texas, and you're doing film, you need to know about this place. This is a gem. If you're about it, and man, they have the classes for you to, if you don't want to go to film school and you just want to learn piece by piece by piece, you could come here, man, and really spread your wings. Because I've become a better filmmaker just from being here, you know. and it's fun. It's my playground, man.
What would you say to somebody that's sitting out there watching this right now and is thinking about doing a show on public access, but just hasn't gotten off the couch to do it? What would you say to them to encourage them to come down here?
Oh, man. It's like I have so many thoughts on this. I'm trying to condense it down to one brilliant line that you can like put on a poster or something like that.
Why not?
Why not?
You just have to do it.
Everybody has an audience.
The first step is just showing up, and then learning. And then once you get started, continue to do it, because consistency and discipline equals success. There's no skipping steps. You know, you can have your dreams and everything going on in your head, but if you're not actively making moves to do it, then they're just going to be dreams.
Everybody thinks you need all this stuff before you can actually do something, and here you just it works. You come in and all the resources are here, and it's so easy.
I have a master's in filmmaking. I spent 3 years at UT studying filmmaking, and I mean that was great, but there were so many aspects of filmmaking and a lot of DIY filmmaking and broadcast specifically that I really learned here.
When I first came here, I could not believe it was not a line out the door.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are people not tapping into this resource? I mean, it is very valuable. Just like here tonight, you know, we've learned something tonight already. You know, by looking at the multicam, you know, all the different things. We have an equipment room, and it inspired you to want to go and create something new.
You have to take that step and just believe in yourself enough to know that there'll be enough resources and people around to help you. And just get out there and do it. It's a lot. Like, I've had people who come in and are so nervous, but then watching them watch their final product is a complete joy.
There's something that you're fascinated by. There's something that makes you tick and is unique. There's no way why you can't use this as a lens to kind of explore that, whether it be Dungeons and Dragons or football or music. It doesn't matter. There's something about you that, you know, you can explore with this and that will actually build your community.
You have to be able to fail in order to get better. You know, there's no possible way unless you try and do something that you can be able to learn from it. That's all it is they give you a space to fail. I know it sounds terrible, but I mean, like, you have an opportunity to create. Go create.
I can't see the monitor, so I don't know if we're on or not. But are we on, or are we on? Yes. Okay, we are on. Hi, kids. We're back, man. And I'm glad you're back with us. We're having a really good time today. It's a beautiful weather out here in Austin, Texas. I'm thinking it's like in the 55, something like that, temperature. 55 Fahrenheit temperature, and it's super, super nice. It's cool. Usually the average temperature in Texas is about 190, but right now it's nice and cool, man. So we're really digging this weather. So wherever you are, and if it's snowing and stuff, make sure that you stay warm, man. Okay, so the next email we got was from a guy named Mason, and Mason wrote, a Capitol rioter said participating in January 6th insurrection gave him street credit and a badge of honor among conservatives. Then he says, well, let's see what kind of street credit and badge of honor he gets in prison. So yeah, folks, we're not a political show at all, but every once in a while, you know, you got to point out some shit that is going to hopefully open your eyes. Man, use your brain. You know, if somebody is out there telling you, oh, we need to go do this, let's go attack the Capitol, you know, use your common sense, you know. Go, okay, would my mom do this? Would my dad do this? Now, some of the people that were there, their moms and dads were there. So we know that, you know, you might not be the most intelligent person in the world. So please use your common sense. Do not follow the herd, you know, and do not, dude, just use your common sense, man. You know, just use your common sense. So anyway, so that was Mason. And he is writing from Texas. He's from Texas. Okay. So the next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was that we are in a winter here. I think I just said it was January something, January 23rd, the year 2022, here in Austin, Texas. We had a couple of days, the last 2 days, we had some freezing nights. Or last 2 or 3 days, we had some freezing nights. What does that mean? That means it was cold to us. Now, to you people that live, you know, you Yankees, y'all got, you know, snow up the wazoo right now, and why you live there, I don't know. But it's something you enjoy doing, and that's cool. I live, you know, here during the summer, man. Here during the summer, your tires melt on your vehicles. They get so hot that they start to melt. So buy quality tires. But yeah, dude, winter is here. So if you're not prepared, you know, when I was in the Boy Scouts, and I guess once a Boy Scout, always a Boy Scout, but in the Boy Scouts we had a saying that, and the saying was, be prepared. So some of the things that you want to have around your house, if possible, if you can afford some of the things, the most important things are going to be water. You want to have water, because if your pipes freeze, you ain't got no water. If you're handy at all, maybe next week I can bring some pipe insulation, and I'll show you guys how to insulate pipe. If you have any kind of skills, insulate your pipes leading up to your house if they're exposed. Now, there's two kinds of insulation. There's the foam, open cell foamy stuff that is great if it's indoors, but if your pipes are exposed, meaning that the wind and, you know, can get to it, then what you want to do is there's this rubbery type of insulation that you can put on those pipes to keep your pipes from freezing up, and you'll have water all winter long, no matter how cold it gets outside, in Texas anyway. So some of the things to have is you want to have at least 3 days of food, but I suggest 7 days of food, and that can be canned foods, tuna, Spam. I tell you what, man, when I was a kid, we lived through a bunch of hurricanes, and Spam was our friend. So you want to have lots of, you know, if you can, you know, a few cans of soup, a few cans of corn and carrots and, you know, stuff like that. That's not going to go bad, because we here in Texas had an issue last year with our power grid. And some of us don't have the money to take our families to Cancun. So, you know, to escape it. So we're stuck here. So what I'm saying is, you know, you got to be prepared, man. You got to have water, you know, and I believe it's like 3 gallons of water per person to last, you know, 3 days, at least 1 gallon of water per person, at least. You want to have some of those 5-gallon jugs of water. Maybe fill up your bathtub in your house. Fill up your bathtub with water. If you know for a fact that you're going to lose power, if they're telling you you're going to lose power. I got an email the other day from a cable company that I'm not a very big fan of, so I won't say their names, but I got an email from them saying that there might be winter storm issues, so we might end up losing service, da-da-da-da-da. The biggest problem that we had last year in Texas was that a lot of Texans didn't have electricity. And a lot of homes run off of electricity. Their heating runs off of electricity. A lot of people run off of natural gas, and some off of propane, some off solar, if that's possible. So things to have around the house, maybe a generator. It doesn't have to be a huge generator. It can be a smaller generator, just enough to be able to power a heater that you can run all night. Maybe water, heaters, generators, lots of blankets. If you know you're going to be stuck at home for a few days and you don't want any more kids, make sure you have lots of condoms. You can dried foods. You can buy dried foods. Like they sell them at H-E-B. All these different dried foods you can get. Have an ice chest ready. Make sure that your ice machine is working and it's got plenty of ice in there, because that ice will actually keep your refrigerator, your freezer frozen, or cold. So make sure that there's plenty of ice. Make sure you got plenty of water, food, stuff like that, because it's coming, man. February's coming, and that seems to be like the really coldest part of the year for us is late January and February, most of February. So just, get your shit together, get your stuff together, blankets, all that stuff. If you have any extra sleeping bags, stuff you don't use, and you know what I'm talking about. You've got blankets that have been sitting in that closet for 400 or 500 years. Break those bad boys out. We have people living on the streets, okay? We got people living on the streets that don't have blankets, that don't have good socks, don't have good shoes, So one thing you can do is down here on 6 and I-35, there's homeless people out there that would love to have that old sleeping bag that's got a rip in it, whatever. They would love that. Your older socks, as long as they're not got more holes than, then you know what I mean. Donate those socks and shirts and long sleeves, jackets. Some of y'all have jackets in your closet that you haven't used in years, okay? I actually had an issue, and my friend Joshina has got this issue that she's a hoarder, and she's a beginning hoarder. And I used to have the same issue where I was a hoarder, or I was a beginner hoarder. So my suggestion is, if you have not used it in 6 months, you're not going to use it. So now I'm not talking about, your own emergency stuff that you need for your house. I'm talking about, like old jackets, old pants, if you haven't used them in 6 months, get rid of them. Donate them to those people down there. Don't donate them to Goodwill. Goodwill is a good company, don't get me wrong. They are a good company, but they're there to make money. So these people that are on 6th Street and on the streets in Austin and your town, wherever you're watching from, those people need help right now. They need help all year round, but especially now, because it's going to get cold, man. And I don't know if you've ever been cold, but I have. So please, go through your closet today, tonight, break that date, do something good, something that's going to make your heart feel good. So, so please do that. Okay. So let's see, what else have we got? Dude, here's a story from Ireland. There was a guy named Shane McNerney. Shane McNerney, I tell you. Shane McNerney. and he was flying in from Dublin to New York City. Irish, and I guess he had had a few drinks before he got on the plane, and I guess, you know, of course, this is all, what's that word I'm looking for? I can't remember that word, but in other words, we're not 100% sure that the whole story is 100% true, but this is the story that we got, that Shane McNerney hopped on a Delta Airline flight, and I know that I'm just because he's an Irishman doesn't mean that he drinks, okay? All right? And just because I'm me doesn't mean I drink, huh? Oh, excuse me. Okay, so anyway, so he hops on this Delta Airlines. They're coming in from Dublin, and he just decides to moon people on the plane. Now, dude, I have mooned plenty of people in my lifetime, trust me, and I guarantee I'm not done yet. But, dude, in an airplane, you know, when you moon somebody, it's supposed to be from a distance, you know, because you don't want to get a real good look, you know, you just want to get the, oh man, did he just moon us, you know, or does she just moon us, you know. That's what you want to, you want it to be funny. You don't want it to be, dude, what, you know. So anyway, now he's going to go to prison. Supposedly, he's going to go to prison up to 20 years. So he'll be able to moon as many people as he wants to in prison. It probably won't be as much fun to do it in prison, but dude, you do what you got to do, right? Anyway, so Shane McNerney, thank you for for not doing that in Austin or coming to Austin to do that. Here's another story that I thought was kind of interesting, and if you've got kids that are in kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, you know, on up to 12, if you have these kids, according to the state of Texas, 70% of fourth graders, 70% of fourth graders cannot read at their level, fourth grade, which means they're at, you know, third, second, first grade levels of reading. So how do we fix this? Read a damn book, you know? Open up a damn book and let your kids see you reading a book instead of being on your phone all the time. And you know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to say any names because I'll get in trouble, but let your kids see you read a book, okay? Monkey see, monkey do, okay? So if they see you cleaning up your room, guess what they're going to do? They're going to clean up their room. If they see you keeping good care of your vehicle, they're going to take care of their vehicle when they grow up. So if they see you read, or if you read to them, then you will be teaching them that reading is fundamental. It's something you're going to use for the rest of your life. So it's an important thing. Take their damn phones away. Ain't no 8-year-old got to have a what is it, i13 phone, you know. Come on, man. Put down your phone and start reading. Start reading to them. Do you know what else you could do? You could also tell them to read to their puppy or to their dog. The dog will love the attention, and they'll think that you're actually communicating with them, and your kid gets to learn to read. Now, one thing that Tyrone did with his little brother, because his little brother was having issues in reading, basically the same thing, he wasn't reading at his level, and Tyrone told him, dude, start watching movies, but put it on mute and have them start reading, do it, the closed caption, and have them start reading the closed caption out loud. And that's another fun way for the kids to read, to learn how to read. So, there's all sorts of tricks, man. My dad used to say, if you can't get in the front door, one of the windows will be open. You just got to find that window, the one that will open, and then you'll get in. So, anyway, reach to your kids. I think I told the story before. I got to tell you this real quick. I went to this restaurant, and the man was sitting there with two kids, two boys, and he took their phones away when they sat down. He took their phones away, and after they were eating, they talked the whole bit. And after they were done eating, then he handed them, and they were about to leave the restaurant, he handed their phones back, and for an hour that they sat there having lunch, they spoke to each other. And that's really important, man, because, and I've told you all this 100 times, if you don't talk to them when they're young, they're not going to talk to you when they're old. So please, it's just an idea. You don't have to do it, but it makes sense, doesn't it? So, Tyrone, do we have another clip we can show? Or do you want me to keep going? Uh-huh. Well, I love Michael Ingalls, but I just looked at the clock. So let me go ahead and go and do the rest of my stories, and then hopefully 58:30. Okay, all right. So let me do my other stories, and then we're going to try to get Michael Ingalls' video in here for you guys, because we love Michael Ingalls. And if you don't know who Michael Ingalls is, then you're nobody. I'm just kidding. If you don't know who Michael Ingalls is, man, he's got some beautiful music, and you will love him. He's from the Austin area, and look him up. Google him, Michael Ingalls Band, in the Austin area, and go see him, man. You will not be disappointed. Okay, so we have more news from Ireland. Let me see what this is. In a town. Oh man, I gotta have a drink. Hold on a second. Oh. Thank you, Jesus. Okay, more news from Ireland. In a little town near Ravensdale, Ireland, that's R-A-V-E-N-S-D-A-L-E, Ravensdale, Ireland. I'm not 100% sure that these guys had been drinking, but their buddy was due to go, I guess in Ireland, what you do to pick up your money from your pension, like from your job, if you had a government job or whatever, if you had a pension, you could actually go to the post office and they cash your pension check, like they'll give you the money for your pension. And so I guess they needed money to party with to continue the party. So anyway, these two guys took their buddy to the post office so that he could get his pension check. The employees at the post office started to get a little concerned because they dragged the guy in, because remember there was a party. They dragged the guy into the post office to pick up his pension check or pension money. And the people at the post office started getting a little suspicious because, well, first of all, they were carrying the guy, but his feet were dragging behind him, on the ground. And they take him up to the counter, and they leaned him up against the counter, and they said, "Oh, we're here to pick up his pension check, And I don't know if that was an Irish accent or not, because I've been drinking, but. So they stood the guy up against the counter, and at first the employees thought that the guy was really drunk, but all three of them were really drunk. Well, it turns out the guy was dead, and so the other two friends were taking him up there to get his pension money, because what the hell is, might as well put it to use, So anyway, when the employees found out or figured out that something was wrong, they decided to call the police. the two friends took off from the post office and left the guy behind, and turns out the guy had already passed away. So they were just they were just taking him up there to see if they could get him to get his pension money to continue the party. Now that's a party animal. So learn from that, folks. So there you go. That's the wow. Dude, what do you, I want to party with those guys. You know, I think we should fly him. I think we should fly him into Austin, and we should and make a big celebration. You know, because that's kind of like what was the name of that? There was a movie, Bernie's Weekend at Bernie's or something like that, where they propped up his uncle. The uncle had passed away, and they pretended like he was still alive. So it's basically Weekend at Bernie's. I just thought that was really, really funny. So I wanted to tell you guys about it. Another thing I wanted to bring up is, even though it's wintertime and it rains every once in a while here in Texas during the winter, we have a lot of trees in Texas. And by a lot of trees, I mean a lot of trees. We have a lot of land in Texas. Just to give you an idea, I've traveled the United States a lot, and I've crossed the state line, and then an hour later I'm crossing the state line to another state, and I'm like, what? I couldn't have, you know. Well, in Austin, if you're in Austin and you want to go, let's see, if you're in Austin and you want to go to El Paso, so here's Austin and here's El Paso, that's going to take you about 12 hours. Let me repeat that. 12 hours to travel from here to here. So, dude, Texas is big, and we have a lot of trees. So there was a big fire out in the Bastrop County area, and it's called the Rolling Pines is the area. 812 acre fire, and it's been going on for like a week, maybe even a little bit longer than a week. And they've contained the fire up to 95%. It's 95% contained, which means 5% of the fire is still going. The reason I'm bringing this up is, dude, be careful with your stove, be careful with your oven, your fireplace. Make sure that you're extra careful, because our firefighters and our police are very, very, very over extended right now, and they need your help. How can you help them? Don't be an idiot. Always check, especially if you have an older person in your home, check that they turn the stove off, check that they turn the oven off, you know. Make sure that they're not leaving stuff on the stove that could burn. So you just got to be more careful. Dryers, you know, also a lot of people tend to use their dryer to help heat their home. And there is a certain way you can do that, and I can teach you if you want me to teach you how to do that. There's a certain way you can do that, and you can use your dryer when you're drying your clothes to help keep your home warm. Another way is to buy a humidifier to add air or water, moisture into the air, and that'll make your home warmer. Believe it or not, it'll make your home warmer. So there's a lot of really cool ways of keeping your house warm, and maybe that's something we can do next week also, if I show you how to do the insulation stuff. So there. So be very careful, and I want to thank, I'm going to do 2 sips, one for the cops and one for the fire department. One for the fire. Oh, that's for the police. Oh, and that's for the fire department. My friend Robert is a firefighter for the Austin Fire Department, and trust me, man, they need your help. So stop being an idiot and pay attention to what you're doing. Keep track of what your kids are doing when it comes to the stove, fire, oven. You know, the fire department and the police department will appreciate it. So please. Another thing, let's see, a guy named, well, I can't read that name. Byron? Looks like Byron wrote us and said, I wish that a whistleblower needs to come forward and tell us how they cooked up this whole COVID thing. So basically, this guy Byron is asking people from Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Bayer, and whatever other pharmaceutical company. Basically, what he's saying is, if I read this right, basically what he's saying is that whistleblowers from these different companies needs to come forward and let us know what exactly they were really doing. So, and I hope that that does happen. And if you're listening in and you work for any of these pharmaceutical companies, man, there's ways of doing that stuff, and you can be anonymous, and you also get this huge reward. So please remember that. Another thing, Emma wrote, don't talk, don't shoot or stab or run over. Sit down and talk or meditate. Meditation can be fishing, yoga, or going for a walk, or just if you have some land, just go out into the middle of that land and just, you know, try to be by yourself if you can, and just think about stuff that's going on, and just kind of relax and maybe stop thinking about things that are going on and start coming, you know, making contact with yourself. We are so wrapped up in this, on these telephones and our laptops and our iPads and our, you know, all this crap that we have that's supposed to be helping us. And a lot of times it's not helping us because we're losing that humanity. We're losing the touch, you know. I have a friend named Mark that has stopped talking to me because I refuse to be a text friend. If you don't have time to talk to me on the phone or in person, whether we can meet for lunch or dinner, breakfast, whatever, I don't care. If you don't have time to talk to me, all you have time to do is text me, then I don't want to be your friend, because then you're not a real friend. I like hearing my friends' voices, you know. There's just something really nice about talking to somebody. In person is the best. Second best would be on the phone. You know, now you have Zoom stuff, which is cool. That's better than texting. But there's just something about having somebody in the same room with you. You know, there's just that energy that's there. And folks, that energy exists. There was a study done that when you die, your body actually loses weight. It's not a lot of weight. I'm not talking about pounds and pounds or something like that, but supposedly your spirit goes wherever it goes. I know where it goes, and if you ever see me in person, I will tell you where it goes, but a lot of people believe that, and a lot of people don't believe that, and that's okay. You can believe whatever it is you want to believe, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody, and as long as it doesn't bother what they believe. So just because you believe in one thing doesn't mean that that's the only thing there is. I was talking to this little guy named Scott the other day, and he works at an HEB, and he was telling me about how he believes, it seemed to me that he believes a lot about religion or he's really into religion, and that's fine. You can be into religion. But I saw that he kind of got upset with me when I told him that according to the Bible, there was a storm for 40 days and 40 nights. And according to the other civilizations on the planet at that time, and there was no record of a storm for 40 days and 40 nights that flooded the whole planet. There were other civilizations on the planet that have no record of this rainfall for 40 days and 40 nights. So, it's just little things that kind of make you go, maybe there is something to this. So, so just, like I said, keep an open mind, and just because it's what you believe doesn't mean that's what everybody else is going to believe. So just understand that, respect what other people believe, and other people will respect what you believe. So we have, I'll give you a perfect example. Well, I'll give you that example next week. This is the last thing that I have to talk about, and it's really, really important to me. Folks, if you have pets, and you think that just because they got some hair on them, that's going to keep them warm outside, you're wrong. That fur will keep them a little warm, but they can also get a nerve injury from if you leave them outside because it gets too cold. Now, there are some animals that grew up in that stuff, which, like Alaskan Malamutes and stuff like that. If they grew up in Alaska and that's all they know, that's all their body knows, then they dig a hole in the snow and they lie down because they've figured out how to stay warm. But in Texas, it's not like that. In the warmer states, it's not like that. So please, if you're please bring your pets inside. But if you're going to leave your pets outside, stay outside with your pets. So there. That's it. We're done. Have a good night. I'm going to go get drunker and enjoy life a little more. So that's it.
All right, I had one thing.
Okay. He has one thing.
I just wanted to say that any bands or any artists that want to showcase their talent here in the studio, we're going to start booking bands and acts this spring. So our show is now Sundays. We go live at 2 p.m. So we'll have setup time starting at 11 a.m. and just hit us up at thebigdaddyg@gmail.com. And you can get a hold of us, and we'll book you on a live TV show. We'll give it, we don't make money off this show. We just love doing it, and we'll showcase your talent, and you can get an awesome music video out of it. And we appreciate your time, and peace in the Middle East.
All right. That's it. Well, thank you, kids. Thank you for joining us. And we will see you next week, next Sunday at 2 p.m. Please tune in. I'm going to teach you all how to insulate pipes and how to use your dryer to make it a heater in your house. So thanks for joining us. And peace. 2 peace.